Okay, hello and welcome to the Movie Power Rankings Show. I'm your host, Gabe Alexander, and with me as usual is Mike Romick. Mike, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, today we start off the show with some music from...
I understood. I got that music. Thank you very much.
Okay, can you let me finish my intro and spiel? Okay.
Usually it's a test. You're trying to trick me.
Well, can I finish the intro? So this music doesn't make me get in the mood for summer movies unlike any other. And Mike, that movie would be...
Are you finished with your intro so I can answer now?
Yes, I'm throwing it to you, Mike. Yes.
How about Jurassic Park?
Okay. All right. Yes, Jurassic Park, John Williams doing the score there. And like I said, that music gets me in the mood for some summer blockbusters, Mike. So that was my spiel I was trying to get to before you butted in because you thought it was a trick. And there's no trick this show. So.
Do you know if John Williams is doing the score to the new Jurassic World?
Well, it's a good thing I got IMDb right here, Mike. So let us see. I'm going to say no right before I pull it up, but...
Yeah, I don't think so.
Let me go to cast and crew, composer...
Because they were bringing back, Sam Neill and, Laura Dern and Jeff Goldblum. I thought maybe they were going to bring back John Williams.
No, it's Michael Giacchino.
He's ever busy.
Yeah, very busy. Maybe he's done the others. So, yeah, that's who's doing it. So no John Williams, though they do let them use the music from other films. So there'll be callbacks and stuff within the score. So I'm betting on that. So yes, the music was from Jurassic Park. Again, today's show, we're going to do our summer movie preview show. And but before we go into that, as usual, we're going to do any errors and omissions from last show. So, Mike, I'll let you start. Do you have any errors, omissions from our April 2022?
No, not that I was aware of.
Show. No, none from you. Okay, well, I had a few. I had the big ones. I guess I had implied that two films I saw them in April, but they did not come out in April, and I think I had that confused. And those two films they were both streaming on Netflix. Was Texas Chainsaw Massacre was released in February of 22. And Windfall was released in March of 22. So as it turns out, the only movie I saw that came out in April was The Bubble, the Judd Apatow comedy. So that was the only one I had caught from all of April. And again, Mike, you had seen a lot in the theaters, so we were able to cover all those. But and then I went on a long spiel about how horror is sometimes is a good release month was April, and checking there was really no significant horror release in April of this year. So I would say the two biggest horror releases this year were the Scream remake, which came out in January, and then the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which was a streaming release in February. So those were my errors, and yes, my bad, Mike. And
no problem. Corrected it. You can move on.
Yes, the record's been corrected, and we'll go on now, and we'll start with our summer movie preview show. Today we're gonna go. I sent Mike an email, and I got a list for each month that we're gonna cover. We're gonna cover May, June, July, and August. August is very skimpy right now. It doesn't look like, but and we'll put an asterisk above all this too, because things can change, Mike, and things can move around. So
at the drop of a hat, they'll turn around. All of a sudden, you get an email or something, and things have moved to 2023 or with a question mark or whatever. And so we'll see.
All right. So let's get into it, and we'll go right into May with our summer movie preview show. Let me correct myself again. We're going to hit a review that you caught, because since last week's show was our April movie power ranking show, Mike, you did catch the one big release from this weekend, the last weekend in April. What was that, and what do you think? And tell us a little bit about it.
Well, being a glutton for punishment, and the only one that came out this week was Memory, the new Liam Neeson movie. And I guess it was based on a Belgian movie that was supposedly very well reviewed, but I never heard of it. And to be honest, there is probably a good movie in there somewhere, which might be the Belgian one, but certainly not the Liam Neeson movie. I mean, it looked good, widescreen, nicely shot, but I mean, under 2 hours and seemed really long. Acting by Guy Pearce, he should get a shampoo, and Liam Neeson, business as usual, and Monica Bellucci, a wonderful beautiful Italian actress from sort of big about 10 years ago or so. She's sort of wasted, and I mean I don't know, Hitman, Alzheimer's. Again, I remember Blacklight. I didn't remember what it was about. This one I'll probably remember because of the title. But again, Hitman with Alzheimer's, just, I don't know, just plot holes galore. And it's this, there was the Schwarzenegger, the Clint Eastwood, and the Sylvester Stallone all had this movie where, they're rescuing or concerned about this, a young girl who's in jeopardy. And this is another one of those. But no, just no. And I read an interview with Liam Neeson where he's currently shooting his 100th movie. But again, as I say about Nicolas Cage and the poor Bruce Willis now, that they signed the check before they read the script, and and this is another one of those completely forgettable, and the reviews were terrible, and the reviews were right. I mean, like I said, it wasn't, I didn't walk out, but, I didn't have to pay any money for it. It was on like unlimited Regal. So anyway, nothing to be dealt with until we get to the worst movies of the year at the end of the year. So let's move on to the summer, which will hopefully be much better.
Yes. I don't think I'll need to see Memory. I'm glad you could cover that for us. So,
yeah.
All right, May. Let's start with May, Mike, and next week, hopefully we'll preview next week's show. We will have both seen it, and that will be Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Give me your thoughts going into this, Mike.
What's the buzz on this? Have you heard anything? Somebody hasn't seen it because they have a running time on it.
All right. First 20 minutes were shown at CinemaCon. I don't even want to give any impressions on it. I'll just kind of give some facts. When the movie was said to be just about 2 hours long, there was some complaints almost. There was some anticipation of it being longer than 2 hours. So there are a lot of the nerds out there are kind of suspect of this 2 hour running time. I'm not going to give my thoughts yet. We'll talk about it next week, hopefully, when we've both seen it. I'm trying to stay spoiler free going into this. I've kind of now I've cut myself off. I'm not going to look at anything all week until I go see it. And, I could start naming off characters or actors who I think might be showing up in this, and I'm not going to do that yet. I don't want to ruin anything for anybody. And, sometimes I am that type who I will kind of look ahead and see what all those scoopers are saying, and
sometimes you can't avoid it. So
yeah, I'll keep my finger on the pulse of the nerd community, and it doesn't really bother me because I kind of knew what to expect. So I will say, I guess some rewatches going into this for me, and for our audience, if they want to do this, is I would rewatch the first Doctor Strange.
Did you like the first Doctor Strange?
Love the first Doctor Strange.
I did too. I thought it was very good.
Yeah, I like it. I have it in 3D. It's great to watch on 3D, especially on some, whatever substances. And then I would rewatch WandaVision, the streaming show on Disney Plus.
Also terrific. Yep.
And the other rewatch, which I've already done because I had the 4K, I cracked the plastic on it already, is Spider-Man No Way Home, because that's the last movie that Doctor Strange has appeared in the MCU. So, and I think that the plot of that movie might have some connection to this movie.
How did Doctor Strange end up in Far From Home, seeing as how you just saw it? What was his last scene?
Well, it was No Way Home. And
No Way Home, sorry.
And it was he had done the spoiler alert. He had made the spell so everyone forgot who that's Peter Parker was Spider-Man.
So that was his last thing.
That was the last thing we kind of saw. So
from the preview, we know that's going to come back to bite him. So
yes, I think any number of things he did in that movie could come back to get him, to bite him. So so that'll be the big one. That's the first weekend in May.
And nothing's going to go up against that. They're going to leave that weekend to be Doctor Strange's.
Yeah, there's not. I mean, when I was doing my research for the show, I'm like, there's some movies that are being released, but they're not even worth mentioning, because I do have some brief mentions for each month. And the ones that are coming out against Doctor Strange, they're not anything that anyone's going to see, and there's nothing of consequence.
Something got to be streaming in a couple of weeks.
Yes, if at all. So then the next weekend, the big one, because since things will probably stay away from Doctor Strange, but we're going to get Firestarter is the next weekend following Doctor Strange, and so Firestarter is going to try to cut into some competition, and I'd say this is a horror release.
Did you see the first one? Because it's a remake, so.
Yeah, I've seen the first one, I think.
Because Drew Barrymore, George C. Scott.
Yeah, Drew Barrymore is the only thing I remember from it.
Yeah, and again, I remember I thought it was okay. Again, we're going to have probably much better special effects in this one, and probably a little more gruesome. But, I don't know, sort of a Stephen King, that's probably, not a bad idea for a remake. Certainly didn't need another remake of Carrie. So,
yeah. No, I'd see it. I don't think I'd see it in the theater, but I'd see it, wait until October.
Right.
Yeah. So then, following that is, the Downton Abbey movie comes out the third weekend in May.
Yeah, and I'll handle this for you, since I know that's not your kind of movie.
I'm going to let you handle it. Let me just get the title out there. It's called Downton Abbey, A New Era. I don't know. Is this the second, third Downton Abbey, Mike? Let us know.
Oh, please. Anyway, there's 6 seasons. Seen them all. Loved them. Yeah, old fogey type thing. But again, terrific. And then there was the first movie, which they were worried about, but of course it made buckets of money everywhere, and, they were very happy, and now there's a new movie. And I read the review in Variety, since I don't, they were pretty good at not doing spoilers, and they liked it very much. And, of course, this has been moved around a lot, because it's, people like you and a lot of the, youngsters aren't going near this with a stick. But again, they're worried about an older audience. And again, so I'll be there. And, when I went to the first one at the movie theater, it was unbelievable. There was cosplay with old people dressed up as the characters from Downton Abbey. I was like, I almost passed out. It was hysterical. But no, I'm looking forward to it. And, the whole cast is perfect. The production looks good. The story looks good from the preview. And, of course, Maggie Smith on there.
Okay. And also that weekend is Men, the new one from Alex Garland, who did movies I think we would both recommend, Mike. He did Annihilation with Natalie Portman, and then he also did Ex Machina with Oscar Isaac, and both of those films are great. Check them out. And then also looks equally as interesting. We'll see. The preview is bizarre, where I think it's Rory Kinnear is playing every man in the movie.
Yes. And he's great. He's a great actor.
Yeah, it just looks bizarre. I mean, and then Jessie Buckley, she's Oscar nominated now, and she's
ever busy. Yeah,
ever busy.
So many things.
I think she's like the only woman in the film, and then the rest.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think so, and it's she moves to this town in Britain or something like that. She moves into this house. And she's like kind of getting like stalked by these weird men, and they're all the same actor playing them. And yeah, it just looks kind of.
Now, are you gonna join me at the movies or no?
We'll see what my work schedule's like, but no, I don't know. I could catch this in October.
Okay.
Save it.
I'll spoil it for you. I'll let you know how it ends.
Sure, thanks. All right. So then we get another biggie. This would be the last weekend in May. This would be the Memorial Day weekend, if I'm not mistaken. So Memorial Day weekend, we're getting Top Gun, Maverick.
Finally.
I mean, this has been moved how many times? So
not only that, but decades. A sequel decades after the first. I mean,
yes, right. And then we had the pandemic shuffle with this one as well. So now we've got it in Memorial Day weekend of 2022. And
what did you think of the first Top Gun?
I will rewatch the first one. It is a classic to me. I mean, I'm not saying it's a great movie, but it's it's fun. It's the music, even though they reuse the same music a lot, you'll notice that in the rewatch. But it's good, for an '80s movie. And no, I'll give it a rewatch. And I have the 3D edition, so I don't know. I don't know if I've seen it in 3D, so maybe I'll check the 3D out.
Yeah, before the pandemic, there's they have these these theaters that play, classic movies in the summer. And we went to see it. I hadn't seen it for a long time. And, it held up well. I mean, even though the special effects are, not, top of the line they would be now, but at the time they were. And, it was enjoyable. Certainly, like you said, not a great movie, but it certainly was enjoyable and looked good. And, I'll go. I mean, I'm not thinking it's going to be a great movie, but, is it coming back too late? Hard to say. I mean, the weekend, I'm sure, will be the number one movie, but whether it'll be good or not remains to be seen. Pull up IMDb. Who's directing that?
We have Tom Cruise's cast. Is in the cast. Miles Teller is in it, playing, I believe, Goose's son, the Anthony Edwards character from the first one. Hang on, my IMDb and my iPad's not really wanting to work. Let me try my desktop here.
We can edit this out. We'll pause. Play the music.
Okay. It's Joseph Kosinski.
Who's that?
He directed the Tron movie. The
remake or the sequel to Tron. Okay.
And he did the one with Tom Cruise, Oblivion, is also.
That was horrible. Oh my God, that was bad.
You didn't like Oblivion? I thought Oblivion.
No.
Was bad.
No. Yeah.
I
mean, it had moments. It wasn't as bad as what's that one with Will Smith that was terrible. Elizabeth and his son.
After Earth. That one.
Oh yeah.
Terrible.
That was worse, but I wasn't crazy about it.
Yeah, that's M. Night Shyamalan too, I believe.
Yeah, well, you know.
And then, so up against Top Gun that weekend, we're getting the Bob's Burgers movie. And I don't know if you know much about Bob's Burgers.
No.
I like it. I've watched some of the, seasons and stuff, and it's an animated show on Fox.
What's the premise of Bob's Burgers? Just they own a burger place?
Yeah, they own a burger place, and the whole family works it, and they have run-ins with the neighborhood people and stuff. It's just it's more family friendly than I would say like Family Guy or I would put it more in the Simpsons kind of area.
You know what's funny is they had that Simpsons movie that came out, very well reviewed, made buckets of money, and they never went back to do another one because they said it was really expensive. I don't exactly know why. I mean, it isn't sort of like Pixar animation, but again, I don't know that people were, screaming for a Bob's Burgers movie. I mean, it was always sort of under the radar. I mean, to be honest, I've never seen any of it, but I mean, whether it's not, as you said, Family Guy or Simpsons or something as far as, but again, it's been around for years, so I mean, I'm sure it must get some kind of rating or so, but I don't know about, also going up against Top Gun. I mean, whether that's a different audience or not, hard to say, but I don't know that anybody was saying, like the Simpsons movie, everybody was all agog about the movie, but I've never heard anybody say, gosh, I wish they'd get a Bob Burgers the movies, but I'll probably see it.
We'll see. Yeah, I might see it. I think, it'll be a decent animated release. I think it'll make some money that weekend too. I think it might give Top Gun a run for its money, maybe. We'll see. And then I have some brief mentions for May. Just the Innocents I had on the email to you, Mike. That's a foreign film. It looks like a thriller, drama, maybe even horror related. And then Around the World in 80 Days is an animated film, and I believe it is a Spanish language animated film.
Oh, wow.
So, just to recap, May, we had Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Firestarter the weekend after, Downton Abbey, A New Era, and Men come out the third weekend in May, and then the last weekend in May, the Memorial Day weekend, is Top Gun Maverick and Bob's Burgers the movie. And that's it for May. Mike, you got anything else you want to mention on any of those before we go on?
I'm sure there'll be some other little, whether independent things or whatever that'll squeak in there, but, nothing that I'm aware of at this time.
Yeah. Okay. So then we got June. There's nothing big the first weekend in June. That would be June 3rd. Nothing. These are just some of my brief mentions. You have Watcher, Wolfhound, Dashcam. I mean, these are just brief mentions I have on the list. There's nothing of consequence there. Terror on the Prairie. I mean, that's again a brief mention. Not many people are going to see that even released. It might just be streaming and stuff on those. So.
Right.
Then we have the week of June 10th, or the weekend of June 10th, and that would be Jurassic World Dominion is the first big movie we get in June. And, we have the music for Jurassic Park start up the show. Some of the original casts from that film are going to show up in this, it looks like, because there was a new trailer released this week on that. And looks like we're going to get a lot of dinosaur action and a lot of locations now. I see it, we're kind of all over with the dinosaurs now. And they're I think the plot is there might be kind of taken over. The dinosaurs might be taken over. And
because that's how the last one ended, where they were out and about.
What do you think about the Jurassic World?
What's funny is they spent the big bucks. It looks good. I've seen them. Exciting. I wish the scripts were better, particularly the dialogue. And I mean, I used to like Chris Pratt. I mean, and now he just sort of does kind of like a walkthrough. It's like, doesn't seem to be engaged with the material, and that's just not in the Jurassic world. And then you have Bryce Dallas Howard, who I've never been a big fan of, and and again, I'm happy to see whether it's Sam Neill and Laura Dern and Jeff Goldblum come back. I mean, get a little oomph there, and from the preview, it looks like it is not shot in widescreen, which of course the original Jurassic Park, I think all three of them were not. I could be wrong on that. I know the first one wasn't. But again, this may be something shot with IMAX cameras that might be worth a visit to the old IMAX. But again, I can't say that for sure. We'll have to double check on that. But again, I did notice that the preview wasn't like in the 2.35 aspect. So I thought, But again, I'll go, and I'm sure the dinosaurs will be good. I just hope that scripts are a little stronger. And they all go. The two Jurassic Worlds have also gone on too long, where you're just okay. We could have sewed this up a little sooner, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not. The Jurassic Worlds. They look okay. The special effects look all right. I think some of the story stuff's kind of goofy in some of those, but they have their moments. They have some nice action with the dinosaurs. That's really what people are going to see. As long as you don't disappoint with the dinosaur action.
Right. That's what people are going for. They're not going for great acting and sparkling dialogue. And I did like the line in the new preview where Jeff Goldblum goes, "Why did they always go bigger?" I laughed out loud.
Yeah. So I guess a rewatch for me would be the first Jurassic World, and then the sequel. I can't even remember the name of it. The Jurassic World. Let me go to IMDb here, but it's going to be a big movie. I think probably the biggest one. It's Fallen Kingdom is the sequel. So Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom is the second one, and this is Dominion, which is the third. So biggest movie of the month, I think. Looking at this year, maybe though the next weekend might give it a run for its money, which is the Pixar's Lightyear.
It's slightly different audience there, but still, that's going to do well. I mean, it's kind of like a Toy Story. Can we say prequel?
Yeah, Toy Story prequel maybe, but it's like the base. There's like a real life character in that world where what the toy is based on. So we're gonna see, I guess there's this character out there that is like explores the universe and stuff, and it has all kinds of crazy adventures out there in space. So I'm looking forward to this. Chris Evans does the lead voice, and looks like it's gonna be funny and action, and some. Pixar heart, if you know what I mean, some little emotion too along with it. So we'll see. I mean, Lightyear and Jurassic World are probably look like the biggest movies this month. So then we move on to the last weekend in June, and that would have 3 films were getting released in that week. The big one being the Baz Luhrmann directed Elvis. Mike, what is your take on this movie? Are you excited to see it?
Well, Baz Luhrmann. I I sort of like The Great Gatsby, which a lot of people didn't. And a lot of people love Moulin Rouge. I wanted to gouge my eyes out. I just couldn't take Moulin Rouge. And some of his earlier stuff, Strictly Ballroom, I liked, but did we need another Elvis story? Maybe not, but from what I've read, and it's opening at Cannes in a couple weeks, is that, they're taking it from a different tack. Where usually Colonel Parker, who of course was huge in his life, controlling him, they're taking it kind of where he's a major character played by, Tom Hanks, who of course got COVID when he was in Australia filming. And so, the fact that it's going from a Colonel Parker point of view, but of course, from the preview, you're going to have a lot of that Buzz Luhrmann, madness with the songs and stuff, which again remains to be seen. I hope it's, it's got to be better than Moulin Rouge. But again, lots of people love Moulin Rouge, but again, it's, I'll see that again. We'll pass judgment on it at the time.
We'll see. I'm not too excited to see it. I don't know. I'll catch it maybe. We'll see how the reviews are. And, we'll see if it has any buzz come award season, which I don't know.
Right, particularly with Tom Hanks, and, he's sort of got all that puffy makeup on, so we'll see.
Yeah. Also then that weekend, we have a horror release, The Black Phone, with Ethan Hawke. And this looks interesting. It's kind of a thriller horror, little bit, it looks like a supernatural element. So I'm a little bit interested in this. Don't know if I'll catch it in the theater, but there is a preview for this out there, and it looks pretty interesting. So
yeah, the ever busy Ethan Hawke, where sort of off the radar for a while, and then all of a sudden, he's in a number of things, and most recently, of course, The Northman, and I'll probably see this. Again, cross-programming there. I mean, not a whole lot of competition for that particular audience there. So, probably kept it not too expensive and, make some money. Hopefully it'll be, scary and, have a few good jumps in it, but we'll see.
Yeah. And lastly, that weekend, we have Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. I know very little about this. I have it as animated, but looking into it a little bit, I saw that it might be stop motion, and it might be also, you might have live action. So you might have a stop motion character in a live action.
Is it foreign or is it?
No, I think
US.
This is based on like a YouTuber or TikTok might do this character, and now it's getting a film. I'm not 100% on that, but that's because I remember hearing it mentioned about this Marcel the Shell is kind of like a viral video kind of sensation where, very popular online. So, yeah, we'll see. I'm not, it could make a ton of money, but we'll see. I might have to look a little bit more into this. So that wraps up June. The other brief mentions I have for June, where I've mentioned a couple earlier, but were The Lost Girls, which I think is somewhat of a take on Peter Pan when I was doing a little research. And then Official Competition is another film I mentioned. It stars Penelope Cruz, and it may be a foreign language, or maybe an international film. So.
Penelope Cruz, I'm there. No problem. Yeah. I'll let you know.
So wrapping up, I'll just give the movies from June again. Jurassic World Dominion, Lightyear, Elvis, The Black Phone, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. And so anything, Mike, you want to mention on?
Well, there's the pandemic influence, because if you look back at, let's go 3 years earlier, June was just every weekend with 2-3 movies, major movies, people things going neck and neck. And, so, we still have pandemic influence to hold things back or, go streaming with things. So, it's not your normal June. Again, better than it has been, but still certainly nowhere near normal, let's say.
Yeah, and I'd say, looking at July now, we're going to move into that. I mean, this has got a little bit more. So, again, July could be a bigger month as far as box office, too. I think studios see a little bit maybe more potential there. And so maybe June they kind of stay away from more. But, we'll see. I mean, kicking off July is... July 1st is Minions, The Rise of Gru. So this is the second Minions movie, and this is, I think the fifth in that kind of Despicable Me universe.
Mm-hmm.
Minions: The Rise of Gru. It looks the previews out there. Looks fun. Looks good animation. I'm sure this is going to make a ton of money because this is basically the only thing over 4th of July. So.
If I'm not mistaken, the Minions, the first one, actually made more than the Despicable Me ones. Now, they get no respect from the critics. I mean, the critics just, really don't care for the Despicable Me. Audiences, no. Audiences go crazy for it. And kids love the Minions, the way they talk and the way they act. So, I mean, I think that's going to do well. And, of course, this has been done for years. I mean, it was coming out, very early in the pandemic. It was supposed to be coming out. And, of course, it's been pushed back because of families' concerns about going to the movies. So I think it will do well. I don't think it will do well critically, but it won't matter. I mean, that's money in the bank as long as people decide to, when kids are able to get their COVID shots and, take them to the movies and they'll laugh their heads off.
Yeah. No, I think it'll do well, and I'll probably see it at some point. Probably not in the theater, but
I've enjoyed all of the Despicable Me's and the Minion movie. I mean, the animation I think is wonderful, and the voices are good, and I'll be there.
Yeah. All right, and then the next weekend, July 8th, we have a standalone. We have Thor: Love and Thunder. We briefly talked about this last show when the trailer came out for this. There was a teaser for it. So it looks like everything's staying away from that, and for good reason. I mean, Marvel's going to probably dominate July here with that movie. So I'm there. That will probably be the next one I see in theaters after Doctor Strange. We'll see. Mike, anything? I know you weren't, you're skeptical a little bit on this, so.
Yeah, I am. I mean, it's definitely, I think it will do business. I mean, but again, whether it's, I'll reserve judgment. And now, as far as what are you going to watch? I mean, the previous Thor should be enough, or is there something else you think people should watch before they go to Love and Thunder?
Then with Love and Thunder, you could do all three of the Thor movies. So that would be the Kenneth Branagh Thor. Then you have Thor: The Dark World, and then you would have Thor: Ragnarok, who Taika Waititi directed that. He's also directing this one, Thor: Love and Thunder. So you could watch those. And then you could watch the two Avengers, the Infinity Saga one, the Infinity War and Endgame, because Thor has a lot going on in those two movies as well. So I guess those two would be, and then, to throw it on for good measure, I mean, we haven't heard anything, but you would probably want to watch that Loki Disney Plus show.
Love that. Thought that was great.
That was one of the better series, I thought, of the Marvel shows.
Do we know where in the timeline, which again, my head's starting to throb by asking that question, where in the timeline this is?
Well, this is going to pick up right after Avengers Endgame, where Thor leaves off with the Guardians of the Galaxy. So
where was Thor Ragnarok? Where was that in the timeline?
So Ragnarok leads right up into Avengers Infinity War. So the very last scene of Thor Ragnarok is then the beginning scene for Avengers Infinity War. So yeah, your head's starting to spin. So is mine, just trying to think of it. So, but yeah, that's the way you would go with that. So. I don't know if I'd rewatch. I'm going to rewatch, but I would probably do the Ragnarok. I would rewatch Ragnarok and then maybe Endgame again, Avengers Endgame. But,
how many times have you seen Endgame?
2 or 3, probably.
Okay, because I've seen it twice. I thought it was terrific.
Yeah. Okay, so then the next weekend is July 15th, and we got a couple that weekend. We have Where the Crawdads Sing. I believe this is based on a novel. Mike, have you heard anything about that novel?
Okay. Now, we're talking, this was a bestseller like #1 bestseller for years. I mean, there was nothing like it since The Goldfinch as far as people adored the book. I have the book. I started the book because I wanted to read the book before the movie. Again, it hasn't, I mean, I'm, well, I don't know, 30 pages in or something. It doesn't grab me like The Goldfinch did. But again, you know, The Goldfinch was a phenomenal book. And when they announced the movie, I thought, well, okay, but, you know, it's something that should have gone to HBO or a streaming service as a miniseries because of the amount of material in it. And, you know, the Goldfinch movie came out, and critics reacted like they had burned down an orphanage and killed all the kids. I mean, the Goldfinch was a beautifully done movie. No, it wasn't the book. Yes, they condensed things, and you know, but again, that was what they were going to have to do to make it into a 2.5-hour movie. And again, it was not a bad movie. I mean, it was, you know, it was the best you could do with that kind of adaptation. But again, you would thought, you know, lost buckets of money, people hated it, and you know, people that all these millions that read the Goldfinch book didn't go. You're going to have that same issue with Where the Crawdads Sing. I mean, it's going to be, you know, are people going to go to, you know, that might kill literary adaptations for a long time. Because that used to be, you know, big bestseller, you made the movie, and, you know, everybody went home happy. No. So, and, you know, I don't know if there's a whole lot of, you know, top-tier talent connected with Where the Crawdads Sing. I mean, I don't know exactly. But, again, you know, it's going to have to get reviews that are going to pull the people out that read the book. But, again, the people, you know, I don't know. It's that Goldfinch curse is, you know, probably going to attach to that. So I don't know. I'll go, but I'm going to finish that book first.
Yeah. I saw the trailer. There's a trailer for this out there. I mean, it looks interesting. I mean, you know, again, I'd go if the reviews are there, and again, we'll see come awards season.
For an older audience, it's the older audience movie that's coming out in July.
Yeah. So also that weekend we have The Gray Man, which, just looking at it, it's a Russo brothers film. Looks like a spy kind of thriller action drama.
Who's in that
film? Anna de Armas, or she, and
from
yeah. Oh, Chris Evans and Ryan Gosling, Reggie Jean Page. Look, Billy Bob Thornton, Jessica Henwick. I mean, it's got a lot of people in this.
Now is that streaming and theaters or
no?
Just theaters?
Theaters. July 15th.
Wow. Uh-huh.
So we'll see. I mean, you know, don't know a lot about this. I think a trailer for this is out there, but you know, this is something I might be interested in. We'll see. And then lastly, that weekend, the big one is Paws of Fury, and I have a typo on my email. It's called The Legend of Hank. I don't know much about this. It's animated. You know, might do a little business in July because you know, animated.
I know nothing. Is this connected to Paw Patrol, that animated series, or not?
No, I don't know what this has. I mean, the voice has Mel Brooks and Samuel L. Jackson, Michelle Yeoh,
really,
John Hansu, Ricky Gervais. So,
damn.
It's got a voice cast. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Paws of Fury. I don't know if there was this is connected to a series. Let me look. I don't know. This might be an original.
Wow.
Maybe they're trying to start a franchise here, a animated franchise. So, yeah, we'll see. Paws of Fury, The Legend of Hank.
Now that's the same weekend as Where the Crawdads and Gray Man, or it's the following weekend?
Yes, no, there's 3 films that is
Where
the Crawdads Sing, The Gray Man, and Paws of Fury.
All different audiences. So yeah.
Yep. The following weekend, then, we have Jordan Peele's Nope. N-O-P-E, Nope.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait for that.
Yeah, trailer looks very good.
Yeah, I think the less we know, the better on that.
Exactly.
And, just can't wait. I always like to see what Jordan Peele does, especially when it has this kind of like horror and sci-fi kind of bend to it. So I'm thinking aliens, but you never know. So,
right.
then we have the last weekend in July has Bullet Train with Brad Pitt and DC's League of Super Pets.
Have you seen the trailers on both those?
I saw it on Bullet Train. I'm not sure about that one. I don't know. I mean, we'll see.
Looks a little
one, I don't know.
humorous.
Huh?
Looks a little humorous. Who directed Bullet Train?
Bullet Train's directed by David Litch, who
he's that Atomic Blonde. Loved
stunt
Atomic
coordinator. Blonde. Yeah, he's like a stunt coordinator. So I mean, I think you're going to get some action here. I mean,
yeah.
But yeah, I think comedy mixed in, but
right.
definitely an action film. I mean, if it's David Leitch directing, it's definitely an action film.
Oh yeah.
And then DC League of Super Pets. I mean, it's got The Rock and Kevin Hart. It's supposed to be about Batman and Superman's pet. They're the league. I think it's Crypto is Superman's, and I don't even know Batman's dog, but no, I don't know.
Preview I thought was sort of funny.
Yeah, I mean, I'll see it. I don't know. I mean, I might just wait for HBO release on that, though. I don't know if I need to go see it in the theater, but you know, I think it was one of those that got lost in the shuffle with that Warner Brothers and Discovery deal when things got moved around, because if this was supposed to come out earlier in the summer, and then in August we were going to get the Flash movie, and you'll see why, because August is very slim pickings. So that Flash move out of August left a big gap in August, and so I think releasing this in the last weekend of July might be kind of Warner Brothers trying to, because pick up some business in August there. So, yeah,
kids. A lot of kids go back to school in August. August has become, back in years ago, August was they were good up until like the third or fourth week, and then things went in the dumper. Well, now kids go back to school earlier, and August has been a dumping ground for some of the stuff you see has been, they push out of them, a basement and go, just to push it out before it goes to streaming. But, no, August is no longer, it's almost not part of summer anymore. It's,
sure.
The fall season has begun, but not the fall Oscar push movies. But,
Yeah. So, and then the brief mentions I have for July were Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. That looks like a independent British film. And then Vengeance I also mentioned, which because of B.J. Novak directed it, it has somewhat of a cast, and it looks like an independent kind of thriller horror kind of film. So
IMDb Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris I'm not sure if that's Judi Dench or Helen Mirren.
It's Leslie Manville, I think.
She was the sister who was so wonderful in Phantom Thread, my favorite movie, but she was great.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, just to wrap up July, we have Minions, The Rise of Gru. Then the following weekend, we got Thor, Love and Thunder. The third weekend, we get Where the Crawdads Sing, The Gray Man, and Paws of Fury, The Legend of Hank. Then we get Jordan Peele's Nope, the fourth weekend. And then the last weekend, we get Bullet Train and DC's League of Super Pets. So, Mike, anything final you want to say on July?
Again, certainly more movies than June, which is good. But again, not back to normal where it used to be July, 2-3 movies every weekend that were all, struggling for, the number one box office. And here, usually each weekend, you got something that's going to be number one and maybe something that'll do decent and, might have word of mouth. But, again, interesting stuff. I'm certainly looking forward to Nope and I'll see them.
Yeah. And the not much here in August, but I'll give a couple quick mentions on August films. We have Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Trailer for that just dropped this week. It's got Pete Davidson and it looks like to be like a comedy horror movie. Might do a little business there in August. Resurrection is a movie with Rebecca Hall, which you and I both liked her in The Night House, which is a movie worth checking out. So Resurrection's a August film I have as a brief mention. We have Secret Headquarters, which is a Henry Joost movie with Owen Wilson, Michael Pena, Jesse Williams. Looks to be an action adventure, Secret Headquarters. So that's a brief mention. I had I Love My Dad. I don't know what that is. Got Rachel Dratch. It looks to be a comedy. So we'll see. Maybe a little comedy trying to make some money in August there. Then we have Beast, which is another brief mention I wanted to make. That's from Baltasar Kormákur, who did Waltz with Bashir, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Let me see. Huh. Or no, I'm incorrect. It's the guy that did Against the Ice, Mike, that we saw this.
Oh, okay. Wow. All right. Cool.
Yeah, we liked that. So that Beast is August 19th. August 26th is Samaritan. That is Julius Avery directing, action, drama, fantasy, sci-fi. Sylvester Stallone.
Oh my!
Martin Starr. So we'll see.
Did you hear they're doing another Expendables? I heard that. I was like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, you know. Then we have the 3,000 Years of Longing. This is the George Miller, which I think is going to be a con.
Yes, sort of under the radar. Nobody even knew about that. And it's got a good cast, and I can't wait to hear the reviews from Con on that.
Yeah. Idris Elba, Tilda Swinton. So, interested in that. That Beast movie I was mentioning is about a lion movie. It's a lion, and that Beast has Idris Elba in it as well.
Oh, ever busy.
Yes. So, Beast and 3,000 Years of Longing are Idris Elba movies. And that is it I have for August. So let me recap. August really quick is Bodies, Bodies, Bodies is the horror comedy with Pete Davidson. Samaritan is the one with Sylvester Stallone. 3,000 Years of Longing and Beast are the Idris Elba starring films. And then I have Resurrection, I Love My Dad, and Secret Headquarters are the other brief mentions I have. So, anything on August, Mike? Maybe would you think maybe we see something get moved into August from earlier in the year?
Boy, I think it will depend on how the business is on the June and July movies. I don't know that they're going to move something into August, because even in pre-pandemic August, they weren't putting something big in there. But again, it depends how things hold up and how things, linger at the box office.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Okay. Well, we are going to wrap up our show then for this week. This has been our summer movie preview show. Next week, be sure to check us out because our plan is to do a review of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, our first big summer movie. So Mike and I will be giving our thoughts, and we may even go into spoilers in the second half of the show on that, and I can really dive into the nerdness that is going to probably be this movie. And Mike, you'll probably be needing an explanation on it as well. So,
yes, thank you. An old man explanation. I will appreciate any help you can give me.
All right, Mike. Anything you want to say before we let everyone go? Anything else?
No, I think we covered the summer, as opposed to, as again, we need to mention with that big asterisk that things subject to be yanked out and moved to 2023, and with a slight chance that some things get moved in, but we'll play it by ear and keep you posted on the podcast as far as when things change.
Yeah, we will see. So, all right. Well, everyone, enjoy the summer movies that are about to come out, and we will here at the Movie Power Ranking Show try to cover these for you and let you know what's worth catching out there. So, okay, Mike, thanks for joining us today. We will see you next time, and all right, everyone,
Have a good week.
Stay safe, and we'll see you at the movies. All right.
Okay.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.